minute slow.
Hey!
How are you when it comes to trusting in the process? It's a good question, right?
That is an awesome question. Thank you for bringing that up, Leah.
So today's podcast is all about faith, and faith is trusting in the process. I'm Leah.
Sandra.
And this is Creating You in the Universe. Okay, as always, we love to start this show with intent.
My intention for anyone coming across this, blessings, blessings, blessings. Faith. Trust in faith. Abundance, love, light, laughter, fun.
So it is.
So it is.
So faith is a topic that came up almost instantly for our group.
Reason being, and you'll see over the next probably couple weeks, there's going to be some shift in energy around me. There's some big things happening and a big reset. So the reason why faith is coming up is because it's been having to been said from one to the other a lot over the last 3 or 4 days. Couple weeks actually, but really immensely in the last couple weeks, and just not delving into it too much. Just there's a lot of shift. Oh yes, get your microphone on. A lot of reset happening in my life, with family and we're all excellent. It's an excellent shift, but choosing to look that it's an excellent shift and not from a stance of ego or looking at it like it's a victimness, which is another segment that we will be working on shortly.
Yeah, another episode will be victimhood, being a victim. But today we're talking about faith. And while we were brainstorming, we do a little check-in before these videos of topics we might want to cover or stuff that we need to do in the creative process of getting this out to the world. We talked about how faith can be changing your life, really, because like you mentioned just now, you are all about life changing. Big changes for Sandra. And for myself, faith is all about really trusting your intuition, expanding your intuition, having faith in those niggling feelings. For myself, when I had more faith in my intuition and trusted and said, what the heck, I'm just going to listen to that little voice in my head, the more I had faith in that, the stronger my intuition grew. And as I grew my intuition, the more, I would say, spiritual messages came through for me. It was like once I opened that channel of communication and said, okay, universe, God, whatever you want to label it.
Fill in the blank here.
I'm listening. I will have faith in what messages you are sending. I will walk that path. And it can take a lot of courage. Because sometimes
big time courage.
Sometimes it is scary. Fear. If I have my intuition, my everything in my core is saying, quit this job. And that's freaky because,
especially if you don't have another job to go to.
Yes, but everything in your core is like, this is not in alignment. This makes you feel like garbage. These relationships do not nurture you. It can be very fearful. We've been taught so many things in our programming growing up as kids that we have to have all of these things like a job in order to be successful. So that's just one example where it might not make any sense and you have to have a leap of courage to basically live in alignment. But once you have faith and the metaphor of jumping over the ledge, not knowing what's going to catch you.
Like for instance, can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
Interjecting, yeah. It's interjecting. Is it cutting off? I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
Yeah. So like, for instance, I grew up with the premise, don't quit a job. It's like find a job and at least you have a job and then start looking for another job, as opposed to completely like being like, I hate my job. I'm so unhappy. I'm going to have faith that I'm going to end this now so that I can move into that next section. Cause that's something that's happening is we can wait forever, right? Or if you're waiting, it feels like you could wait forever because something is always going to stop you from making that jump.
Comfort.
The comfort, right? It's just like, oh, well, okay, well, this will come up. Well, I got this bill coming up, so maybe after. Like, everything's always you're always going to find an excuse not to do it. But if you could take the leap of faith, which is something that we're doing, and seeing, so we already did it, and now we're seeing the results of it, and it's like literally upheaval. Everything that to be comfort is changing, and it feels so dark, but it's not. It's beautiful. It's like getting away all the
old,
the garbage and
the low vibe.
And then just having that faith. But also, if we didn't do what we did back in October and make that claim out to the universe, like, I need this to change and this to change and this to change, and the universe is like, all right, this is gonna be fun. If we didn't do that, we would have continued on the same path, because it would have been too uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable, but being comfortable is the devil, or whatever people say, right? It's like, I'm so uncomfortable, I'm so unhappy, but I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't have faith that will happen. So then it's like
nothing changes.
Right? Nothing changes, and then you wake up and it's 5 years later, and you're still in the same dead end job. You're still with the
bad relationships.
Bad relationships, whether that's poor customers, friendships, bosses, even friendships with or relationships with your children, because you're unhappy. How are you treating your children when you're going through all that happiness? Like, what's important, right?
So as you're speaking, it's making me think of having faith. Those little niggling feelings, you bring up children. It could be talking to your family. Sometimes we have a lot of fear, but to our core, it's saying inside, you need to express yourself. This feels as though you need to address something with an individual, a family, maybe an entire family. For myself, about 6 years ago, had my baby and made health choices that were different. And I had to have faith that those health choices, I would still be a happy woman and still have lots of family around. And on one hand, by having faith, I actually lost. A lot of family chose not to interact with me because of these health choices. On the flip side, if I would have never followed my heart, had faith in being me, truly being me,
and following your path and your belief system,
and my belief system, and what felt right for me and my heart-based choices, then I would have never found the community and the friends that I have today. I was actually told by the, family at the start of all this, you won't have friends, you won't have a family. Sorry, guys, we're moms and we've got a visitor.
Hi, Dad. He's just coming in for a piece of candy because we can't do anything about it right now. And he knows that.
So, yeah, we're moms here.
Yeah.
So this is little baby T.
Hey, you coming? You want to come say hi? Yeah. This is my little mantrist. Wave to the camera. Wave up there. Wave. Go hi.
Yeah.
There you go. Where's the camera? There it is.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Way you go. Sister?
Come on, dude.
It's like, I'm going to sneak some candy because they're busy and they can't stop me.
Okay. And cut. So, what were we talking about?
If you hadn't done what you were doing and followed that, you wouldn't have the friends in the community.
The community that I have today.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so blessed. And if I was an authentic me and had faith that being myself and the things that are in my heart are in alignments, then I would never know the life that I do today. And I wish the whole world could have a taste on the regular, more than a taste, obviously, but if they could just have a taste of what community really is and how I've been blessed
to be, right?
Yes.
What it's supposed to be.
Us as humans and what we're designed to experience. I truly wish that everybody had this. And so all I can say for people that are not very happy is have faith that being yourself, showing up in alignments with your values and your beliefs, that you feel it in your core, it will lead you a life that you love. And in the moments while you're going through the thick of it, it can be dark, because losing family was so dark for me, for my spouse, for other family members. It's not to say that was easy for the other side.
Right.
They were going through their own feels.
Right.
But the thick of it might feel awful. it's just like falling. You still have to take that step to fall. The falling might feel freaky, but when you land, it is like something you've never known before. You are creating a new world for yourself, and it is beautiful. You would never have had that unless you had faith.
One thing my mom said back in the day, I went through a divorce at a very young age, and I remember her saying, literally watching me and going, right now you're on the edge of the cliff, and literally you got 1 foot on and 1 foot on nothing, and you have to make the choice, because you can't stay there for very long. You have to decide, are you coming back and then living this path, or are you going to jump off and see where it takes you and have faith that it's going to, the source or the universe, well, at that point in time, she doesn't really talk like that, but something will catch you, right? A cloud, or things like that. So I remember that, and that stuck with me, and I did take a flying leap and literally changed my life. So I've been where I am right now, and just that also helps with what's going on right now too, is the reset, knowing that was a reset back then. And resets, like, anyone knows them, they are wow, it's not even a roller coaster, it's a
flip your life upside down.
Everything feels like you're losing, or everything's being taken away, you're being punished, and it's not. You're actually being rewarded. One of my favorite things I heard, and I apologize, I don't know where it comes from, is the universe rewards the brave, right? So I love that, because that is true. Without being brave, you'll never get the rewards of what people get when they step through that darkness and it's not even darkness. It's the fear. The fear is just like this cloud that's like, ha, you should be afraid right now, but it's not. And as you take that step, the light, like, it disappears, like,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I have this big smile on my face. If you're watching the video, you can see, because I'm thinking about a social anxiety. Might be familiar for a lot of people. I was 19 years old. I had this guy who I knew was into me, but he knew that it was never going to happen. But he still, invited me to things, and he had this friend that was playing at a concert, and something inside me was like, you need to go. You need to go to this concert. It wasn't like a big concert. It was at a local pub. His friends were playing or whatever. And so I had so much anxiety, but everything inside me was like, go, you're going to regret it. You need to go. And so I had faith. And I showed up to the house where we were going to meet before we go to the bar for this concert. And that was the first time that I met Jordan, who's my spouse.
Right.
So that was like 12 years ago.
Right.
So if I wouldn't have had faith, if I would have been comfortable, stayed home with my chips and Slurpee, indulged in my things that I like to indulge in my comfy, safe bed, I would have never, at least
at that point in time, yeah.
Maybe I was meant to meet him. We actually lived really close together for years. We were actually neighbors for a little bit and didn't even know it. But anyways, the point is, if I didn't have faith, I would have never met him that divine night.
Right.
So there's so many things that having faith can bring you on this little like breadcrumb journey of like, this is a taste, this is right. You might not see the big picture now, but like, you're gonna have kids with him one day.
Yeah.
You're gonna buy a home.
And every time, have you ever noticed that every time something that required you to have the faith, especially with a big reset or something, like if it's something that feels really yucky at the time, but if you have faith and push, have you ever noticed that it's years later and you're just like, thank God that happened, right? Like, you're like, I'm so blessed that I had that. But with a reset, it's like, oh my goodness, if that hadn't happened, then that wouldn't have happened, then that wouldn't happen. And I see now I'm like 15,000 steps ahead of where I was, but this path I thought was the right one, and just having that faith is, it's the story is as old as the tale of time, right? Like, it's always that, if that hadn't happened, I thought that was the worst day of my life, but because of that happened, and I met that, and then that, and it always is. And at the end of the day, our point is, source, to the universe, God, fill in the blank, knows what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
What they're doing. And they're then sometimes they have to drag you kicking and screaming because they know, just trust me, you're going over here. It's like a kid. Like if you know something and they're like, no, I want to go, but you know something is dangerous or something is not good down that path. Sometimes you're like, oh, we got to go right now. And you're literally taking your kid kicking and screaming. It's the same where the kid and Source is like, get over here because you're going to be so much happier over there.
Mhm.
Right.
The other thing I'm thinking about is there is something called the hero's journey. Have you heard of it?
No.
So the hero's journey, I forget who really broke this down, but you can see it in all the major films like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Lots of books follow a hero's journey. If you have a tarot deck, you have major arcana that basically follows the hero's journey. And so that was a great way for me to learn tarot cards, because I like that stuff. Was the first card in the major arcana is the Fool. And I believe it's the Fool. I hope it's the Fool, because I feel like a fool.
You feel like a fool.
It's number 0. And it's this character who sets out on a journey. It's the hero's journey. He has no idea what he's going to be doing, how he's going to be doing it. He's almost innocent in how he looks, because I think of that youth. Like when you have faith, you really don't know if it's you're innocent.
And you don't really care. You don't get caught up.
You're going on as a journey to the world. And I just having faith, the hero's journey, I feel like those acts of faith bring you on the hero's journey. It's like first you set out, you create, then you meet the teacher, and then, so on and so forth. Yes. You go through your trials and tribulations. Somewhere in the middle of the major arcana is the towers, where everything has to crumble. Yeah, because it's not built on a firm foundation. Right. So then you start creating the wisdom, and the wisdom comes in, and the universal stuff. And then by the end of the hero's journey, it's the sun card, or the universe,
or the sailing away in a nice boat.
You've got all your wishes come true, but it took a huge journey to get there. But to get wherever you're going, I guess what I'm saying is it's okay to not know. It's okay to feel like a fool, trusting into your intuition. Mm-hmm. And there will be ups and downs, but you're going to make it. And life is beautiful, and you will see. So I'd love to hear if you have a way to comment, both in the podcast, on Facebook, wherever you're watching or listening. Yeah, let us know if you've had faith. I would love to hear why you had faith and what faith means to you.
And if you're struggling, reach out too, because we can guide you.
So I think when you mentioned struggling, sorry guys, we're still moms.
He's coming to show his.
Hey buddy.
Hey buddy. Just ignore him. He'll come.
Okay. So I think we're in the year 2023. A couple years ago,
this is February. I meant to say that. This is February 2023. He wants to show off his venom.
There we go.
You sitting? You gotta listen. If you're sitting here, that's fine.
So, 2020.
This is Justice. Yeah. Going through. February 2023 is where we're at today.
So it was a hot, how many years ago? 3 years ago, 2020. So many people had no idea what was going on. And so many people were facing struggles.
This is being mom. This is fun.
We are moms, yeah. Okay. They had to have faith that everything was going to be okay, because a lot of people struggled. And the ones that didn't have faith, their life was a lot darker. So having faith can also enlighten your mood. It can bring you from a place of darkness and despair and worry to a place of release and surrender and feeling like everything is going to be okay. You might not know how it's going to be okay, but if you are switching into faith, then it gives you relief. It gives you faith. Just the feeling it gives me is I'm lighter. Mm-hmm. I have less cares because I don't need to know XYZ and how I'm going to get there or what's going to happen. Right now, I just know that wherever I'm going to go to or whatever the end of my struggle is, it's going to end. It's going to be okay. So if you're having mental health around, what am I going to do? Worrying, anything like that, It will help your mental health tremendously if you have faith that everything will be okay. If you have faith and remember that any other time in your life where things seemed rough or scary, at the end of it all, you are provided for, you are taken care of. I really believe that to be true in my own life because it
100%.
has been the case for me.
100%. Yeah. I've studied Abraham Hicks. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks for years, like 20 years. Same thing. They often talk about going down the paddle. Either whenever you're having resistance or things, you're swimming upstream. You're taking that oar and just fighting. Just turn around. Just get on the other side of the boat. Just put your oars back in the water and just sit back and just enjoy the ride. And or they also mention crashing an airplane. If the plane's going down. Good. Do whatever you can. Like go into the pilot's deck and put it face forward. The faster that you hit, the faster you come up. And so those also help too immensely.
So for myself, same age frame, I was probably 18 before I met Jordan. In my family, there's lots of intuitives. We've got native. On one side of my family, he was medicine man, intergenerational intuitives. And so I wasn't really given tools to help expand my intuition. And so intuition to me is like that feeling inside that's giving you a heads up. Say you're driving a car and your intuition is like, stop right now. And then you stop and you avoid a crash. Or there's so many different examples of intuition, of something telling you something. Intuition to me kind of comes through different senses. And maybe we can go into that a different day. But the point being, I really expanded my intuition when I started having faith in these little voices that would be they're almost like a whisper. They're a whisper. They seem okay. One of them was, you should bring your umbrella today. Yeah. And it seems so simple because it was a sunny day, but whatever. You need to bring your umbrella. No. And I would have all of these instances where that little voice would speak and I'd be like, nah, I'll be fine. Yeah. That's usually how I would word it. Nah, I'll be fine. And then one day I got so frustrated with myself because those things happen. And then you're like, I should have listened to myself. I should have brought that thing. I should have packed that whatever. I knew I would have. I needed it. I knew it. Because you did know. Your intuition knew. The difference was I did not have faith in my intuition. Yes. And so then one day, it was like, I'm getting shivers. Yeah. I had That's the truth. It means that you're telling the truth. I had a little experiment that I was going to have with my life. I'm just going to listen to it. As like I was almost laughing at the universe, like, fine, I'll just listen to you. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to describe it. You make it a game. It was a game, definitely. And then religiously, these things would happen. The little voice would say, bring whatever. I don't know. You get the idea. Yes. And I would bring it. And then the moment would come later that day where I needed the thing. And I was like, I am so wise. I knew it before I knew it. Right. So faith, my teacher, his name was Richard Josich. He would say faith is knowing without knowing. You know. How do you know? I can't say I have a data with the knowing. Yeah. It's just a feeling. It's a knowing inside. Faith is knowing without knowing. And I knew that I needed this stuff. And when I listened, it blew my mind. I blew my own mind listening to my intuition. And so as I had faith, the intuition grew stronger. And now, there's a lot of things that you can do with your intuition, especially if you're interested in developing things maybe on a more psychic level. With healing and clear seeing, clear hearing, all of these different stuff. So that was an instance for me where faith really started coming into my life, was I had faith in my intuition. There's a game, again, this one comes from Abraham. I'm just I'm a little bit distracted, so I'm just going by those examples for now. I have plenty in my life, but they're not coming through right now. The one is a game you can start to play. Now this, I wouldn't recommend it if you're just learning how to do this.
But it sounded really fun. And I've done things like this in my life too, where Abraham was talking about an event when she was just learning how to channel, and her husband had two friends, and they ended up going on this car ride, and they're like, well, let's go, let's play like hide and seek around the entire city. So that's why I'm saying I wouldn't do that quite yet if you're just learning how to do it. But the one they started and said, we're going to go, and then in half an hour you come try to find us. And it was just this beautiful journey of how they stopped at this store. Like it didn't tell you what Abraham and her husband, Esther Hicks, didn't do at that time, but you heard this other couple saying, well, we stopped at this grocery store and I needed this, and then we were getting thirsty, so we stopped at the Mac's over there and got a coffee, and then we were having fun, we couldn't find them, where is it? And just listening and just practicing listening, like, where are we supposed to go? And then just following those little pulses, and it ended up being that they went exactly in the order and they were at the same place, like just 20 minutes behind everywhere that they stopped. It was such a beautiful story, but that's how it is. And that's a little game you can start to play. Maybe don't do it as much as driving around a whole city, but have a friend that you can do things with. Sorry.
I'm looking for your
mic.
mic.
My mic fell. Maybe you can't hear me. Sorry.
It's been gone for a while, man.
Oh well,
that's life.
We're picking up on yours anyway.
Gotta have faith, you know.
Gotta have faith that you'll hear what you needed to hear. But yeah, just trying like a little game, like whether maybe do a treasure hunt in your house with another friend, and practice with the intuition.
Here's another game, if you will, to have faith. Is I'm thinking eyes. What you see. You know, you're seeing your friends, your family, maybe a stranger, and they seem off, or you have maybe a message coming through, like, why am I thinking about this inspirational time of my life that I feel like I need to share with this person?
Right.
So you can do a little check-in, like an intuitive check-in, like, is this conversation for my highest and greatest good, or is this conversation for said stranger's highest and greatest good? You know, do those checks and balances, because you don't want to give unsolicited advice. But the point is, like, maybe you're seeing something with your eyes and you are getting an intuitive message to say something. It could be like, hey, are you okay? Hey, I've just getting this feeling that I should call you, or whatever. Having faith that what you're seeing and those subtle cues is also true, I think could really change somebody else's life.
Our last segment, we're talking about getting those impulses, right, and how it can affect other people, and you don't know that, but the universe might be sending that pulse to you. I can't count how many people didn't have any idea something was going on, and then checked in this weekend, like perfect timing. Hey, I feel you. What's going on? You know, and it's just like, not only did they feel something, but that was also the universe telling me that the messages that they were sending me people to love me, because you need this extra bit of attention right now. So we're going to send this message from this person. So I felt so loved and connected with people in a time of being like complete chaos, like the thoughts just going everywhere. And then all these people just reaching out, and, hey, what's going on? How can I help you today? A classmate on Facebook did it to everybody just on his post. And I'm sure you'll see this, but he just wrote, how can I help today? Just seeing that on my Facebook post just shows all those little impulses that people did. I got those messages, the messages that people were all of a sudden sending me directly through Messenger. I got them all, like, you know, a book I picked up and seeing the title of it, like going through a reset, how you can rise strong. Like, oh my goodness, you know, it's just all these things so we are all creating our own universe, but we are all creating each other's as well. Co-creating. And then just knowing that, just having that faith. And then source will, or God, the universe will also show you that you are having faith, and that they're showing you to have faith. And I'm going to bring these people in because you need a little bit of love. So they are always talking to you, and just knowing that.
Yeah. I find having faith can be I need to go right now somewhere. I need to drop what I'm doing, or not drop, but like my intuition is screaming, go to Walmart. Seems so little. I say, F it, I'm going. And then I show up there and I see people that I haven't seen in forever. If I didn't have faith, would I have seen those people? I probably needed to see those people because it's not an accident that we're running into each other. If I had not had faith, then I would not have seen said individuals. It's just amazing, these little nudges of intuition and where they can bring you.
It's a funny story now, but it wasn't funny on the day of, but just trusting the parental intuition that comes, and folding laundry in a room, and then just hearing that, like, you should go check on little one right now. Where is little one? And being like, normally you'd be like, oh, I'm sure they're fine. But just knowing and trusting and learning the difference and being like, I think you need to go right now. And literally like dropping the laundry, running to the kid. Where is Tristan, my little one that you just met? Where's Tristan? He's in that room. And he had snuck into the girls' room up on the bunk bed and literally was like, hey, Mom, and was running as I was running in the room. Got chills, running in the room. He was running, and then he leapt off the top of the bunk bed, and I caught him just going like, holy God. Like, and then, but like, and him just laughing, and it was the funniest thing ever. And everyone else being like, what just about happened? But knowing that the faith is there, and that trust and that guidance. And we laugh about it now because it did happen a year ago, but it's just like, oh, I'm so grateful for that intuition, because that could have been a very bad day, or it might have been fine. Like
I just want to say, Tristan, if you're watching this in 20 years, you little stinker, that was not cool. Not cool, man.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. Kids are beautiful, but life is beautiful. Have that faith that everything's going to work out, and take that leap of faith that you are creating your own universe, and you have the strength and the courage to make it through anything. And even though it looks dark today,
it may look dark today.
It might look dark today. It might look like there's a tornado coming today.
It might look like you lost all your family, all your friends. That might be real.
Yeah.
But please, if you're living in alignment and your intuition is screaming to you to do something, I invite you to have faith and do it.
Do it.
Your life will change.
Yeah.
You will have things that you only hoped for. And without having faith and taking those steps, there's no other way to create change in your life than to go forward. Even if that means walking off a cliff, metaphorically.
Yeah, just like I said, in October, just going, I don't want to be here anymore.
So let's go a little bit more clear to let the audience know, like, what's happening. What do you mean here?
I was in a place that one of our businesses that we were doing, as happy as we were very unhappy with a very big client and things, and just being treated a certain way, and just being like, I don't want to be here anymore, in the sense of being very taken advantage of, and being very, when you're forced into providing a service to someone that is not reciprocating of or treating you with the value that you are giving them, and then the disrespect, and just being like, but being afraid of disengaging from them, knowing that everything would change, your whole life might change, or
financial
but being like, I don't care anymore, because my value is more important than being treated how I don't want to be treated, and just that. So making that decision, also living in a home that has a landlord that, we'll leave that.
Choice words that we choose not to say.
So just being in, as low as what we felt is a beautiful home and things like that, it's just not lining up, and just stressed all the time, and kids feeling stressed all the time, and just being like, to the point of going, I don't care if we're in a trailer driving down a highway and that's where we live. I don't want to feel like this anymore, and just being that very like just having had enough and being like, I don't care what it takes, I need a change. And then just seeing instantaneous, like I'm talking 2 weeks, life just boom, 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 everything changing, and it feels, and then you're all of a sudden like, oh, what did I say?
So the
Literally like, oh, what did I say, right?
Yeah.
And then watching Source just almost wipe the entire slate clean, and you're just like, we're about to lose everything, but it's not losing everything. It's just ego. It's not losing everything, because all of a sudden there's a rainbow over there, and it's saying, here's what you want. This is what you want. And having faith that because this feels really
everything
gross.
is in alignment,
Right.
like that this isn't an accident. So
Right.
you had instances in the last few months where you lost what was your biggest clients.
Mhm.
You had faith that I need to have boundaries and
Mhm.
respect myself more.
Yes.
And it's transformed into a life where you are granted so much more around you. Like time is
Time
is
opened up.
priceless.
And then starting podcasts and getting invited to a network to come and have space on a network, and
Mhm.
and people and events and new clients coming, and clients that we did have that we love and value, just even reaching out and loving us and valuing us more, and just realizing that, yeah, we love these clients, and
Yes.
we want more of these clients, and we love these
It
clients.
shifted
and,
the frequency of your life. It
Yeah.
made space for things that you enjoy more.
Mhm.
And so same thing with this move is it's come a slightly sudden. It felt really dark. So I've heard
Mhm.
at the moments,
Mhm.
but after the processing and having faith that this is essentially what you asked for, careful what you wish for kind of
People
vibe.
what you wish for, but actually what
It was
it
beautiful.
is, but it's beautiful because what I wished for was what I actually wanted.
Yeah.
It's just you get so caught up in the moment of, well, is that really what I wanted? Because things
now
are
you gotta
disappearing,
get
but now you gotta
uncomfortable.
get
Yeah.
uncomfortable. But it was because the way in which you forced when you said it, or I said it, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. And when it's that strong, that was loud, and the universe
delivers.
heard and delivered that real
Yes.
fast.
Always delivers. And you have the
Yeah.
opportunity to seize the day, seize
Yeah.
the opportunity, go forward
Yeah.
through whatever muck might be there, and have faith, because now you've got opportunities that give you more financial abundance,
Yes.
that give you a clearer space, a better landlord.
Yeah.
The opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
Letting go of the old.
Yeah.
Although it is a beautiful home where we are recording now, there is so much more waiting for you on the other side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it will be beautiful. It is beautiful, and it's getting more. It's showing itself every day. So thank you for letting me be vulnerable. She asked me if I wanted to, and I was like, I don't know, without blubbering like a fool, but
No.
3 days have changed everything, and just the perception has changed, and the glasses are coming off, and seeing the beauty that is really going to be transforming here and showing itself to us, right? It's just remarkable. Having faith.
Yeah, faith. Today's topic. Thank you so much for
Thank
listening.
Thank
You have any other stuff you want to add?
Not today.
No, I think we're good.
Our next one's going to be being the victim.
Yeah, we've got that down the pipeline as well. So keep your eye open on our podcast, our Facebook pages. We're working on having this podcast available anywhere you listen, and also possibly on a network, the Good Wives Network.
Good Wives Network.
Roku.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Be blessed, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank
and
you.
This is, you have every opportunity to be able to create you in this universe.
You're blessed. Are you doing this?
Oh, wait, we go smile. Hee hee.